Welcome to the High Ground Podcast. I'm Stevie W.
I'm Callum.
So we're doing another In Defense of.
We
So
are indeed, yeah.
let's go back to 2011 and go in defense of the Green Lantern. Thoughts?
God.
I thought you'd actually watch this. But
No, I've seen bits of it, and I've only ever heard of like how legendarily crap it is. So I was intrigued to watch it. So it wasn't as bad as everyone said. I didn't think. What do you think?
I think after watching I was looking. I looked for I got the extended cut on Blu-ray, and so I watched the
That's
extended
what I
cut.
watched.
That's the one I watched, and the Blu-ray's got a lot of extra features on it with Ryan Reynolds going on about how great the movie is, and then all this and all that. Then you just watch Deadpool or Deadpool 2. Don't make the super green and CG.
He didn't. I think like behind the scenes that he had a bit of a clash with Martin Campbell, didn't he?
He did, because I think Martin Campbell, if I read right on IMDb, wanted Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. And I saw this at the cinema, and when it came out, I did enjoy it, but it was kind of sandwiched in between another 3 superhero films that year. It was Captain America. If we go back to, you had Thor in May, then you had it coming out in June was X-Men First Class, which was just before Green Lantern, followed by Captain America First Avenger. So you got going up against 3 big ones in that one, and it just kind of got lost in the mix. And the director's Martin Campbell, who did GoldenEye and Casino Royale. So
and Zorro.
Yeah. So he has
good at more than a competent action film.
Oh yeah, it's just, and I got to admit, it's kind of took on a bit of a legendary status of itself for Ryan Reynolds, especially in the Deadpool movies. So it's kind of got a bit of an extra life now. People will actually go and watch it just because of the Deadpool references.
Yeah, that's probably why. To be honest, that's what made me want to watch it.
Yeah.
Just the scene at the end of 2 where he sort of shoots himself to stop him taking the role.
Yeah.
The fact that he sort of takes it as a joke has made me sort of think, well, I'll watch it then just to see what it's like. Because it gets on my nerves when actors, when actors pretend they didn't do something because they're ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I feel the absolute opposite when they embrace it and just take the piss, because that's all Deadpool is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that he even sort of mocks the whole X-Men Origins as well.
Oh yes.
It's just the good nature of it. Just makes you think, I might watch those films again. Actually.
Exactly. I mean, you look at Halle Berry and Catwoman. A year after she got the Oscar, she goes and accepts the Golden Raspberry Award for Catwoman.
In person.
Yeah. It's just.
Oh wow.
So
Paul Verhoeven accepted one in person as well. Showgirls.
Oh, nice. Nobody goes. I mean, this is the thing. Nobody goes out of their way to make a bad movie, and it's even when directors slate or anyone that slates the work, because I have the philosophy that there's going to be someone out there that really thoroughly enjoys that piece of work, and having someone slam what you like, especially someone's involved in it, kind of tarnishes it.
Yeah.
You appeared in it. You took the money.
Yeah, don't moan about it.
Yeah, it's like there's a famous Michael Caine line. I haven't seen Jaws' Revenge, but I've seen the house that it built for me.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah. I mean, at least he's admitted he took the money.
Yeah, I mean, we look at a lot of actors today that do the paycheck movies.
Oh yeah, Bruce Willis,
Robert De Niro,
yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. Nicolas Cage, Steven Seagal.
I was just about to say Steven Seagal.
Yeah, they do, because at the end of the day, they're getting paid a load of money to do 2 days' work and get the name on the top of the credits of a film that nobody's going to see because it's going to be buried. But the studio will make enough to get it back.
Who wouldn't do that? Like, it's just, I think, what I always think of is actors that started in sort of low budget horror films in the 80s, and they won't acknowledge it to fans like, oh no, that's when that's the bad era of my career. And you think, well, maybe you wouldn't have one without it.
Exactly, got your foot in the door.
Yeah, it does my head in. Like that's why I think I used to always think of Ryan Reynolds. Like I never used to really like him, not as a person, just his films didn't really appeal to me, like the way his humor and stuff. But then when I found out more about him and how nice he is in real life and how he's just up for a laugh, really. I've sort of given him a lot more time over the years now.
How can you not like Ryan Wilder?
I never saw it when it came out. I just saw it years later, like I say, when I sort of had a bit more time for him.
Always.
Just anything he was in, I just thought, no.
Ah, I could top it. What? How about Harold and Kumar? That little cameo he has.
In the first one, is it?
Yeah, the Doctor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like Harold and Kumar because it's about those two mainly.
Oh yeah. I mean, like you know, for me, I like Ryan. Like I said, I like Ryan Reynolds as a person. He's funny, but he's not someone that makes me instantly go, I really want to go see the new Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah.
But
it goes a long way if someone's sort of full of joy in real life.
Yeah, and I love his feud.
A cool dude.
Yeah, I love his feuding with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
That's just.
He's Deadpool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With the magazine.
Yeah. Okay. Go back to we've got off subject. You know, it was Green Lantern was done on a budget for $200 million. It only raked in worldwide $219 million.
So it only made 19 million profit.
Yeah. Whereas if you look at First Class, 160 million budget, and it raked 352. Thor, 150 million with and this is all world gross and in dollars, 449. And Captain America with a budget of $140 million, and it raked in 370. So the big winner that year was Thor in terms of production cost and.
Right. Marvel budget was smaller. I mean, that's probably why they made a profit. I think that 200 million. That did not look like a $200 million film.
But the CG super suit.
Yeah.
And
like I heard about going in, it was the CG, and it's a shame because like there's moments where it's like I think it's completely 50-50. Like there's moments where the CG is really good, like you know when they go to Oa and you see all the other. I mean, especially like Sinestro. Like I only knew that was Mark Strong because of the voice.
Yeah.
Because he looks completely different, and I thought that was quite good CG, like on all the rest of the Green Lanterns. But then you get like scenes where like his suit appears and the mask on his face, it just looks so fake.
I'm gonna get lynched for this, but I mean, I actually liked the suit around the face, the mask. I didn't like that, but I thought the rest of it seemed to hold up for me.
The rest of it looks okay. I just think you just know, like the jagged line thing.
Yeah.
I just you can just see it around his neck, and it's like what? There's no reason you couldn't have made a suit, is there?
But I know you shouldn't have to do this to do it. But if you listen to the and watch all the documentary stuff on the Blu-ray, you find out it was done that for a reason, because it's supposed to be like fluid, because it's like an energy that comes from the ring, and you shouldn't have to watch the extra to explain it, which is it should all be in the film. It should. But
yeah, is that true?
Pardon?
I heard the studio cut quite a lot of scenes from it. Was that true?
I'm not sure. All I know is I think it's only 10 minutes extra on the extended cut.
Yeah, but I mean, even that apparently, I think it's Martin Campbell said it's like not my film. Basically, it's Warner's.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to. I mean, look at the timing of it. And the color palette, which is completely different, and you could also argue this is the reason why they went the whole Nolan way, is that the actual color palette is a lot brighter colors. Which I mean, when I was watching, I was thinking I could imagine Superman in this world,
Yeah,
and it wouldn't
I
be a
could get
stretch.
that. There was meant to be a scene with Clark Kent in it, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Cameo, and I actually could have imagined. I read as well a little bit into it. Apparently, this was supposed to be the start of like setting up a Justice League sort of, I don't know, universe. But and yeah, I think the color palette is quite good actually. You can imagine a lot of DC heroes in it.
see, a little thing that also when I was watching it was, and I know it didn't come out to 2014, but I did have Guardians of the Galaxy vibes.
Yeah, I did. Every time they mentioned the Guardians, I was thinking, oh, where are they?
Yeah.
They're obviously little blue guys. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, it's like the way the planets look and stuff, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, definitely.
And it got me to thinking, with Marvel, I mean, the big risk was, in my opinion, was Thor, especially in Phase 1, and Thor had to work so they could go the route they were going with Loki into Avengers.
Yeah.
But they'd already started world building through Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2. So when you get to Thor, which is completely different to the other three, it's you bring in the fantastical into it, but the color palette and everything, it actually worked. So they were doing it bit by building by world building. What they did with Green Lantern was they just threw it all in there at once.
Yeah.
You should have started on Earth with your Batman, your Superman, your Wonder Woman, then go to your Green Lantern.
Yeah, the cosmic one needs to come later, don't they?
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
It's too much.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to suddenly go and scratch Thor and put Guardians of the Galaxy in its place, Guardians of the Galaxy would have probably failed.
Yeah, probably. I mean, because Thor's kind of like some of it takes place on Asgard, so you've got like the cosmic stuff starting to come out, and then most of it's set on Earth, so you have that point of reference where it's like the danger is to us still, rather than the kind of thing. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I think there was too much planet jumping and Green Lantern.
I actually completely agree with you because at points it was getting confusing.
Yeah.
So, and you're wondering what is the plot of this film?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really. You've got Parallax in that, haven't you? But there's like, I mean, there's potentially 3 villains. I know it's Sinestro before he's a villain, but everyone knows he is a bad guy.
Yeah.
So him, you've got Hector, the guy with the massive head.
It is Hector Hammond, yeah, Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously you got Parallax as well. But I don't know. I always thought Green Lantern villains were a bit sort of meh anyway from the comics. They just seem like your typical sort of aliens, don't they?
Oh yeah. I mean, Parallax was voiced by Clancy Brown.
Yeah, the great Clancy Brown.
And it was very simplistic. Yellow is fear. Fear is the enemy. And you know what that reminded me of? Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko.
Yeah. It looks like the things that come out of people, doesn't it? Like their pack.
Yeah.
I thought he looked like, yeah, I've never thought about that, yeah.
Because anytime said
smoke monster from Lost as well. Just a puff of smoke, really.
And the what monster from Lost? I've never seen Lost.
Oh, there's like a smoke monster in it. Like it's as lame as it sounds.
Yeah.
I'll probably get lynched for it.
This is our opinion.
Yeah.
Feel free to disagree in the comments.
I will admit, some of the cast was quite impressive. I mean, right at the start, I wasn't really listening to the narration. I was thinking, is that Jeffrey Rush?
Oh, it's Tamara Ray, yeah.
And then you got Michael Clark Duncan plays Kilowog, I think.
Yeah. He's great in he's in Michael Clark Duncan from Daredevil.
Yeah. He's the Kingpin, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's also in one of my favourite comedies, Slam and Salmon.
Oh, yeah. Was that the rest one?
Yeah. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, I keep forgetting he's not with us anymore.
It's such a shame. He's brilliant in Slam and Salmon. That's my one big shout out to one of my favourite movies. I love Slam and Salmon. But the rest of these, I tell you, we can play a little bit of a who's who of comic book movies.
Yeah.
Mark Strong from The Kingsman.
Yeah.
You got Tim Robbins from Howard the Duck.
And Shazam.
Yeah. Tim Robbins in Shazam.
No, Mark Strong is the bad guy in Shazam, isn't he?
I'm gonna have to watch Shazam again. I only watched it once.
But yeah, Howard the Duck, good God.
Yeah.
Fixed.
Oh yeah. Howard the Duck, the first ever Marvel cinematic movie. Then you got that. They got this some unknown actor called Taika Waititi playing Tom Kalmaka. Tom
Oh,
Kalmaku.
yeah, who's that?
Taika Waititi. Never heard of him. Angela Bassett from Black Panther
Yeah.
as Dr. Waller.
Well,
Then-
lively.
Yeah. Blake Lively. What should Blake Lively be in?
Captain Marvel, isn't it? Oh
No,
no, that's
that's-
I always get them two mixed up. Brie Larson, isn't it?
Willie Larson. And you got
It's
Tamura.
the film that you met Blake Lively on there.
Yeah. So I got one good thing out of it.
Yeah.
And you got that unknown actor, Tamura Morrison,
Oh yeah, I've heard of him as well.
Abin Sur.
I must admit, I can't because he's unrecognisable, isn't he? Like,
Yeah.
as soon as he starts talking, I was thinking, oh wow, is that Django Fett?
Yeah. I was like, it's been years since I watched it. Tamura Morrison from Couples Retreat. Yes. So I just want to go on record saying I love Tamura Morrison, so I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, he was cool.
And let's go back to that little bit part who we've never heard of since, Taika Waititi.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he was in it. Actually, I remember you saying he was in it, but I never. As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Is that Taika Waititi?"
I thought he looked young.
He does look young. Yeah, he's got like really curly hair.
The big question is, what does he do in the shadows?
Yeah, exactly.
How's this?
He's a secret Nazi.
Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant. A big shout out to Jojo Rabbit. Oh,
Yeah, I haven't seen it. It's fantastic, isn't it?
oh, he's brilliant. And something that hit me, when I saw Taker, was he's in Green Lantern, yeah? Now,
Yeah.
if you want to go back, another Marvel director made made a superhero appearance in a film called Daredevil before launching the
John
MCU, yeah. And if you want to go back even further, 1995, Jon Favreau plays assistant in Batman Forever.
Yeah, I remember I got a random photo message off of you, and you're like, John Favreau's in Batman Forever. And I thought, I've got to check this shit out.
It's brilliant. And I just thought I'm sorry. If you don't have to like Green Lantern, just watch Green Lantern just so you can see a young Taika Waititi. Then go and watch all of his films. But
I got real, like, sort of Captain Marvel vibes from this film, actually. Like, the fact that he's a fighter pilot, and it's like an alien comes to Earth, gives their power to him. And I know there's an explosion in Captain Marvel, isn't it? But it's still alien technology. And
yeah.
I really got sort of Captain Marvel vibes, and I even thought, have they copied a bit of the plot of this? Like, I hope they haven't. Like, it might just be coincidence,
Yeah.
but it really reminded me of Captain Marvel. I don't know if it did for you as well. But
Guardians of the Galaxy. When I was watching.
no, yeah, definitely like the Lantern seasons. I was definitely thinking Guardians. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Iron Man as well. But then I suppose all the origin ones are similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
Something big has to happen. And
With great power comes great responsibility.
yeah, that's almost. He almost has to say that, doesn't he, when he takes the ring? It's something similar, isn't it? But you have to say it for the Lantern.
Yeah. He actually knows what it says because the ring's telling him to say what it says.
Yeah.
I don't no problem with that, but his power is very simplistic. It's wishy thoughts.
Yeah.
wishy thoughts. So if you wish something, the world, it's sort of like, and you will create that too. And a very simplistic power. It leads me to think that it's very much a children's film.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know this, but I looked into it. And when the character started in 1940, it wasn't how we know it now. It was like it was more fantasy. Like there was a lamp that he rubbed, and that's where he got his powers. So it was more like definitely more for kids because it's more like Aladdin now.
Yeah.
And then I think when they relaunched him in the 50s, science fiction was the big thing then. So they sort of moved it to him being like part of the space league instead of fantasy. So yeah, the kids thing is there already anyway. In who he is.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the kids things because ultimately comic books are for kids.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll rephrase that. Comic book started out as being originally for kids because because what does that make us?
Big kids.
Yeah. For the record, if you're young and you're listening to this and you're thinking and you're being told you'll grow out of comic books, sometimes you just don't.
Or just tell the person that says that to shut up.
Yeah. Even if it's your parents.
Yeah, especially if it's your parents.
You know what? I've got to be honest with you. You know, if you would go back to when I was a kid and say that in 40 years or 30 years, you'd be all this big glut of superhero movies. You're like, yes.
I mean, when I was growing up, even like when I was, 8, 9, 10, all I could really, I didn't really thought of the X-Men films, because I think X-Men came out when I was like 10 or 11, 12 maybe.
2000.
Yeah, so, 12. That's right, is it? Yeah. So, but even I didn't, that's all you had really, and they were great, obviously, like, we praised the X-Men films to high heaven on here before, but there wasn't really anything else, was there? I mean, Blade as well, maybe?
Not so much. Blade was more of an underground.
Yeah, and it didn't even sort of maybe even acknowledge the fact that it was based on a comic, did it?
Nope. You remember that was coming after Batman and Robin, so.
Yeah, true, yeah. I
Me-
remember them as well.
To me, it was Superman and Superman, The Incredible Hulk on TV, and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends on TV.
Yeah.
And for me, as a kid, it was always Spider-Man for comic books, and I moved to DC in my teens. These kind of things. So, but go back to what I was saying. I go through my notes, and there was times where I was watching it. I thought they were making the story up as they went along, just to pad it out.
Yeah, I got that impression. If I'm honest, he's not really a character that resonates with me very much. I think because he is almost not as powerful as Superman, but the ring can pretty much do whatever you think it can do, sort of thing. So it's like the whole Superman villain roster. Like, who is there that can stop him? You kind of get that sort of. You hit a wall, don't you, for threats that can possibly kill him. Doomsday,
Lex Luthor, and Batman vs Superman. That's a great killer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It wasn't that bad.
Martha.
Actually, I thought the pacing was quite good.
It's
not boring. There's always something sort of going on, but it's just I think it just meanders a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Another thing is, I didn't like Hector Hammond as a character.
No, I didn't.
I thought he could have, because he starts out as whiny and he's all jealous, and they could have picked, and the huge head at the end, I thought they could have picked a better way to deal with it.
Yeah, he looked ridiculous, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I mean, if he'd been a strong character overtaken by fear, it might have worked. But ultimately, I thought you could, if if they just had brain's gone, the Parallax as the villain, rather than a world destroyer, rather than just having Hector Hammond, it didn't work at all.
No, I always thought when I saw it, I thought, oh, they should have had Sinestro be corrupted
Yeah,
by Parallax in the film. Then there's your second villain setting up the next. I know they're setting up films, aren't they? Because there's a mid-credit sequence with them, isn't there?
yeah.
But it obviously flopped and it never happened. So it's one of those films where there's like a cliffhanger ending that's never resolved.
But you look at you say about the turning the good guy into a bad guy. Same sort of thing they did with Chiwetel Ejiofor in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So again, which goes back to the whole, was Green Lantern ahead of its time?
Maybe in some aspects. I mean, it's unmistakable that we both thought of Guardians.
Yeah.
So did it sort of preempt that type of superhero thing would be popular one day? I don't know.
I mean, I suppose that you really need the big three. You need Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman to be the in that world where the characters are not. I mean, those three. Well, especially Batman and Superman. If you want to talk the three big superheroes, you've got Batman, Superman, Spider Man that everybody knows. A little bit lesser Wonder Woman. Then you've got. I mean, Marvel worked because it introduced the B team. It introduced your Iron Man first. If this doesn't work, it doesn't pan out. At least they tried. But Iron Man had a great story, so they were able to make this slight misstep with the Incredible Hulk, go straight onto Iron Man 2, and have the ground constantly, able to evolve rather than what DC did. They shot out Green Lantern, which, like I said, I think it was ahead, and it didn't work because I think they were trying to copy Marvel. So when it got to doing Man of Steel, they used Christopher Nolan's palette and did the darker, because this what worked for us before, and we'll try and get like 4 or 5 films in 1 or 2 films. That's why when you get to like Justice League, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I completely agree with that. I mean, I was thinking they were probably trying to copy the Iron Man thing that's happening. Not be an iconic character, if you like what that maybe everyone would know. So I think they sort of thought, I will try that one, but it should have just been, I don't know, maybe even the Flash would have worked better.
Yeah.
Someone that's Earth bound, like you say, so it's more relatable. It's easier to start off on Earth, isn't it? Because then you can go out to do all the cosmic stuff.
I completely agree with you on that one, because you do need a foundation, and it didn't have the foundation, and you need I mean, it's like Taika Waititi's character, you could argue is the Agent Coulson. He's the gateway character, so that we look into the world. But it's like if you copy someone's homework and just put your characters into it, you're still copying someone else's work.
Yeah.
But you just, but you sort of like, you're copying it, but you're trying to hand it in before the guy who wrote it or girl who wrote it has handed it in, just to say, look at it, this is my paper, I've done it before he did it, even though I've just copied them.
Yeah, you just pass it off as your own. Yeah, no, that's a good analogy, actually. I like that.
Because there's no way you're going to get to Justice League without, I mean, look at Avengers, they were constant world building. I mean, the Hawk and the Widow were introduced as secondary characters.
Yeah, and we feel just as like empathetic towards them as we do to Tony Stark or the Hulk.
Yeah, or Bucky Barnes when he goes off the train in First Avengers. So when you see him again in Winter Soldier, it's all.
But I mean, the Avengers thing was always there from the start, wasn't it? With the post-credit sequence, so it was always built up and teased rather than, oh, here it is. Actually, you're all waiting for this, so here it is.
Yeah.
Like they did with Justice League. But there was no way you could do that in just 3 films.
No.
You need the setup and you need the background to all the team members first. Otherwise, you'll be like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah, and I think that when we get the Snyder cut, because we've actually got a bigger world now,
Yeah.
Justice League would actually work now.
I mean, I was kind of like, oh, can't be asked with the Snyder cut when I first heard about it. And then when I saw the trailer for it, the one with Hallelujah over the background,
Yeah,
just gave me Watchmen vibes.
yeah.
I just thought, yeah, no, this looks good.
I'm biased, as I always said, and I will put my hand up to it. He did Watchmen, so I will always give his work a shot because he did Watchmen.
Yeah, he's great visually.
Oh yes.
Even if he fails narratively, he does have really the visual flair is great.
Oh yes.
That's what disappointed me about Man of Steel. Like we said, though, isn't it? That it's conspicuously absent of standout imagery, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's all dark and like we said, it's weird seeing Superman not bright.
Oh yeah, and Superman does need to be bright. And but I've always said, my comparison for Man of Steel is Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, only on the sense that they want to do the property, but they've been given a guideline of what they have to play with. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. Planet of the Apes does not feel like a Tim Burton movie, and Man of Steel does not feel like a Zack Snyder movie.
No. I mean, that's one thing. Like we said, that Green Lantern does done quite well. I mean, it's very colourful, isn't it?
It is, and I would watch any of the other superheroes in that world. I would love to see how Batman would have fitted into it. And
yeah, I mean, it's quite a cool sort of expansion, isn't it? Like these sort of galactic guardians, if you like. not those ones, but it's I would have liked to have seen this be like a cinematic universe, even over the one that exists now for DC.
I mean, I think that especially now that we've got James Gunn on board for the Suicide Squad, we had Patty Jenkins do the 2 Wonder Woman movies. I like Shazam. Aquaman. I like the film, but I just don't like one of the cast. So and
I've heard it is quite a good film.
Yeah, and Birds of Prey. I just think I just like it because it's all funny. But to get to the later films, you had all these dark films, like Suicide Squad. They were all trying to be down to the Batman thing. They were trying to go, Nolan worked, so we'll just do Nolan, and we'll sort it out in editing.
Yeah, we said this on the Dark Knight episode last week, didn't we? That it's a blessing and a curse that Nolan's Batman films were so popular.
Yeah, which check it out, which I think is one of my favourite podcasts that we've done was the Dark Knight one.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to say about the Dark Knight, isn't there? So it was always going to be one that would have a lot to dissect. Do you think this film was sort of like would never have been able to succeed because of that as well? Because you'd have to recast Batman again, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I can't imagine Christian Bale in that world.
Oh no! The Nolan trilogy, as it works as a trilogy, you'd have to get Batman in there. It'd have to be, I don't know. If I could imagine. I can imagine Brandon Routh as the Superman.
Yeah.
But I don't even Ben Affleck. I mean, come on, Ben Affleck did Daredevil, which I'm not holding against him because I actually think Daredevil's an alright movie. But I could imagine him in there if he was to do a different take or even a younger Batman.
Yeah, I mean, Justice League again. The best thing about it was Ben Affleck. Like he does seem to fit in that well, doesn't he? That Batman. I've never had a problem with him as Batman. I think he's actually up there with Michael Keaton, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I like seeing. That's the most disappointing thing about Batman v Superman. There's moments of greatness locked away in that film. It's great seeing Batman when he's older, and he's already fought the Joker, and like Robin's already been killed, and I really liked that. I thought it was getting to sort of Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller vibes. But just the rest of the film is so meandering and so like, look how funny we can make Jesse Eisenberg. It's just, I don't know. Even I would even say I like Green Lantern more than I like Batman vs Superman.
I think it's got a better story.
Yeah, definitely. At least it's not. Again, it's not focused. That was our problem as well.
Yeah.
But it has at least got one clear villain in the background as the big bad guy.
Yeah, and it's a comic book movie. It
Yeah.
feels like a comic book movie, and the color palette is superb.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Batman versus Superman, for me, I mean, the ultimate sin for that film was having this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle on steroids be Doomsday.
Yeah.
It was a terrible, and the whole it made.
I never thought about it like that.
I stole that from somewhere. I did steal
Put a
that.
bandana on him and,
Yeah.
give him the sword.
But I stole that. I can't remember where I got it from, but someone said he does look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle on steroids, which is true. And it's a 2 hour plus movie, and it should have. And was it Doomsday's 20 minutes of it? You could make a 2 hour 20 minutes film about Doomsday, just going all across Metropolis and Gotham and wherever, and being taken out and having the Justice League taken out. You don't even need to explain where Doomsday came from. There's your movie.
No.
And you still end up killing Superman. And it still leads to the Justice League movie.
Well, we've said this loads of times, haven't we, in our hypothetical, like, in our DC extended universe. Like, he should have always been the one that kills Superman in Justice League. Like, because he wipes the whole Justice League out in the comic as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, no, like, he's unstoppable. Even when you kill him, he comes back with an invincibility to how he was killed before.
Yeah.
Like, I think they end up, like, in the comics having to throw him back to the Big Bang to hit him. Or something stupid like that, like. So you have this perfect villain, like, that even Superman can't stop. And they just, like, having him shoehorned into the last half hour of a film, like, just crime, really, isn't it?
Oh, yes. And having him being a genetic mutation of General Zod.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb as, even Green Lantern's not that dumb.
No. and I'm hoping.
I didn't actually see what. Like, I get it was kind of bad and it definitely didn't work, but it's not the worst superhero film ever made, is it?
Green Lantern.
Yeah, not even close.
No. No.
I mean, it's not Elektra or Fan 4-Stick, is it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think with that. Elektra is terrible.
Oh god. I think before the new Fantastic Four is probably the worst of the lot.
It's Fantastic Four in name only.
Oh, I mean, that you want to talk about a film where you can quite clearly tell at what point the studio interfered. It's that film.
Oh, yes. But look at it this way: we got a good. If it had been a success, it would have been hard to get Michael B. Jordan probably into Black Panther.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
thank you. So thank you, Fox, for having a turkey on your hands, so we can have Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther.
Yeah, and we can at least do Fantastic Four properly now.
Yeah. Oh yes.
I hope he makes a comment in it about them.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he's dead now, isn't he? Yeah.
Oh, this is the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Marvel, no one's really dead. Like in Star Trek.
Yeah. It's part of your contract is to die at the end of your film.
Yeah.
But you're definitely welcome on Star Trek.
Oh yes. But yeah, we're not going to get into a dissing of Star Trek here.
No, that's for another podcast. It actually, weirdly mentioned in Star Trek, I actually always thought Green Lantern sort of feels like it fits. It's like it feels like a civilization they haven't met yet in Star Trek, doesn't it?
I actually paid to see that crossover.
Yeah, I mean, well, because they're kind of like the Lanterns are kind of like their own version of the Federation, really, aren't they? It's all different aliens and It'd be quite a cool sort of. It is a really good idea. I like the idea of like space Rangers.
Yeah. Even like the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it anything DC can do, Marvel will probably try and do better.
Yeah, you may as well just watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait a minute, Guardians of the Galaxy, isn't that the one that's got David Hasselhoff in it? And Sylvester Stallone? Oh, no. I love Guardians of the Galaxy, so...
Yeah, I know what I'm watching tonight.
Oh, we're doing it in order. We just watched Captain Marvel yesterday. So our next one is Iron Man.
It's really similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Captain Marvel in this film.
Oh, yeah.
I picked up on it towards the end. When it was starting to finish, that's when I thought about like the start with the fighter planes and stuff like that.
So, who would you have be your wingman? Hal Jordan or Carol Danvers?
I don't know. I actually don't think Ryan Reynolds is that funny in this film. So I'd probably have Carol Danvers. At least she does wisecrack a little bit.
Carol Danvers, because I want to be introduced to Goose.
Yeah, I love Goose. Yeah.
Then I want to be introduced to Talos as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell you what.
And 90s Nick Fury.
Oh, yeah. And can't forget Agent Coulson, because I do like Agent Coulson. Agent Shield, Disney Plus.
I need to watch that. Still haven't watched that.
Very satisfying ending. No, I just realised I wrote. Ryan Reynolds is on autopilot waiting for Deadpool to be greenlit.
He is very much on autopilot on this film. It's not even like, you're expecting non-stop jokes with him usually, and fine with that in a normal film. But he does seem like a lot of sort of waiting for the scene to end, doesn't he?
This also just reminded me. Better performance, Blade Trinity or Green Lantern?
Blade Trinity. That's, at least he is Ryan Reynolds Z in it.
But it's got Triple H from WWF or WWE.
No doubt. But he is at least the highlight of it.
And it's the film.
When you say that he's the highlight of a Blade, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when Wesley Snipes wasn't talking to the director by the end of the film.
No, but they passed post-it notes to each other.
Yeah, he wanted to be referred to as Blade.
Oh, I hate people when you do that. Like, you can clearly tell the first two he's having fun in them. Why is he taking it that seriously? I just don't.
Because he's Blade. Mahershala Ali.
Oh God, yeah. Do you know that's the one Marvel film I'm really looking forward to from the next phases? I can't wait for Blade.
You're a Mahershala Ali fan then?
And it's I can't wait to see how they're going to sort of get the vampires into it all. It's just, there's so much to look forward to for these new phases. I think X-Men, Fantastic Four, Blade. I'm just pumped for all the new Marvel films. Well, when coronavirus stops off.
It was like when they did the big announcements of the new releases, and it was like Blade, Mahershala Ali, such and such. Mahershala Ali, Blade. Stop everything. Yeah, I was like, yes. I was like, yep. You only had to say Mahershala Ali in anything, and I'd have been like, yep. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm right, yeah, I was like, but yeah. You know what? I mean, I'm ashamed that it's a shame they didn't sequel. It would have been nice to see a Green Lantern. And I think that if they just had the faith, they could have actually created the universe around that color palette. But Warner Brothers just didn't want to. They thought it was a loss.
Yeah. I think it would have been nice to see Sinestro as the bad guy. I think that would have probably made it a bit more focused, because he is like the famous bad guy from Green Lantern. So it would have been nice to see like that whole stuff start up, and then maybe go into the Red Lantern Corps and all that sort of, like the villains that they have, because they're not great, the villains in Green Lantern, but Sinestro is probably the best.
Yeah.
So it would have, I would have liked to have seen him in a sort of extended universe, because there is I meant to say to you, there is a sign in it that says Edge City so many miles away, and that's obviously where the Flash lives. So I think they were sort of trying to get in there early with it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't to be, obviously.
I'm kind of glad because of that front, because I think the new Flash movie is going to be superb. I'm hoping, fingers crossed,
Yeah,
because I think Ezra Miller's great, and the two Batmen
yeah, I
in
like
it, Ben Affleck
oh,
and Michael
yeah.
Keaton. So
I think they're gonna do Flashpoint, aren't they?
yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to that. But if Green Lantern had been a success, maybe we wouldn't have had the Deadpool movies.
maybe, yeah, because I mean, a lot of Deadpool is just mockery, isn't it? So
Yeah,
you know, but it was always on the cards, wasn't it, that he would have been perfect for that role.
yeah.
And it wasn't until I saw Deadpool and Deadpool 2 that I actually thought I actually do like Ryan Reynolds, actually. So that actually wasted my time there.
I'm not the biggest of fans of Deadpool, but Deadpool 2 I prefer out of the two of them. But it's better
I think
than
it's better.
better than Origins Wolverine. That was
God, yeah.
so. It all worked out all right in the end.
Yeah, we'll defend that in the
Yeah, that's gonna be a harder one than this one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it has got what's his name? Jack Houston, is it?
Oh, Danny Houston.
Danny Houston,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, Danny Houston, who was also in Wonder Woman. It's like recycling of superhero movie actors.
It is. I mean, you could go through like all the superhero films, and there's like some sort of degree of separation, isn't there?
Yeah. What do you mean you've only been in one superhero movie? Lightweight.
Yeah, you amateur.
Yeah.
It's like Harry Potter actors that are in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And Doctor Who actors. They've been in Harry Potter. But you said Game of Thrones, maybe adding that element. But then, was it one of the directors who did Thor? Yeah, the one that did the second one. What's it called?
Yeah, The Dark World.
Yeah.
Alan Taylor does a lot of Game of Thrones episodes.
Yeah, it goes to prove that sometimes Game of Thrones doesn't actually work on the big screen. Maybe if they'd had a bit more nudity in it, it might have actually worked with Dark World.
I'm not against that.
Yeah, Game of Thrones does Thor, but like I said, they redeemed Dark World in Endgame.
Yeah, we were saying about this the other day, weren't we?
Yeah.
Even Marvel have their sense of humor where they don't not acknowledge the ones that didn't work.
Yeah. Maybe they need to do that in the DCEU. Acknowledge Green Lantern exists. And say, Ryan Reynolds, you're in that contract.
Because they could do it with the whole Infinite Earth, couldn't they?
Yeah. I mean, it worked on TV.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I didn't think it was that bad. Not as bad as everyone made out. Maybe because I didn't see it originally, I don't know. Oh, what do you think it's as bad as everyone thinks?
No, I thought the first 30 to 40 minutes were actually enjoyable. I was actually enjoying it until it really started to get confusing. But I think, to me, the weak spot was Peter Sarsgaard. It's not him, it's his character.
Yeah. It's very confusing, but it wasn't boring.
No.
Which is a big sin for a superhero film.
If you find yourself reaching for the telephone to start checking go on IMDb to start doing your notes, it's not a good thing. I mean, if I had to
do that, I was sort of invested in it.
Yeah.
At least.
I mean, off the top of my head, one superhero film which I was looking at a watch quite a bit was Spider-Man 3.
Oh god, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So it's a choice of Green Lantern or Spider-Man 3. It'd be Green Lantern all the time. So
yeah, definitely. I remember the dance scene. We just sort of looked at each other as if, are we in the right film?
Yeah, there was. But then again, that was studio interference.
Yeah, again.
Yeah. So I think my summing up is Green Lantern. It's not a brilliant film. I think it was ahead of its time. And if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's the same color palette, same sort of vibe with the whole different worlds thing. So yeah, I completely agree with that. It's a good summation.
So this has been the High Ground podcast in defense of the Green Lantern. I'm Stevie W.
And Callum.